Good morning. I'm Joanna Rochester, Wellness Renegade, and we're here with Real Talk Wellness Renegades. I want to share with you some information, some of the top myths about wellness. We're coming into the swimsuit season, or, well, might not be swimsuit season, but getting out more. Won't that be nice? It's a beautiful day here today, but it's still a little bit cold, but it is time to, as we come out of, well, actually, I live in southwestern Ontario and might be going back into shutdown again. Anyways, that's beside the point. We can still get out and move around. And I think that's one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. So today we're going to talk about some of the top myths about wellness and what, small steps that you can take to start achieving wellness, whatever that looks like for you. This is part of Real Talk Wellness Renegade, part of Speak Up and Empower, an online community of heart-centered people that share their wisdom, their knowledge, their expertise so that you can have more in your life. As a wellness renegade, we use natural therapies to heal ourselves. So the more you come to understand yourself and natural therapies, what works for you, what doesn't, how they actually work, and why you would utilize which natural therapies, the better it is for you to achieve those health and wellness goals, whatever they may be. So that's one of the first myths that I wanted to talk to you about today. What is wellness to you? Because it is different for everyone. Wellness may mean mental health. Wellness may mean physical health. Wellness may mean may mean peace, right? Some serenity in your life. If there's been a lot of trauma in the last while, if things have been up and down a lot, all these things, whatever wellness means to you is okay. I think one of the biggest things that I teach all of my clients is to dive into that self-love and to start understanding yourself better and start to accept yourself for who you are, whatever that may look like. And that's a big thing too. Who are you? What is your story? And what can you let go of to become the true you? Sorry to make up a little list just so I remember to talk about the things I wanted to talk about. So one of the biggest things is, what is wellness to you? Wellness is never, and this is one of the biggest things, wellness is that mental health, physical health, spiritual health. All these things add up. And I think that's one of the biggest things I'd love you to get out of today is it is a holistic approach. It has to be a holistic approach to yourself in order for you to heal. That's one of the biggest things with Western medicine is that they approach things in a piecemeal way. It's like, oh, you've got an ache, here's a supplement or a medicine for it. Oh, here you've got a headache. Okay, well, let's take a pill. Or anxiety, let's take a pill. That's one of the biggest things that I'm seeing because there's so much anxiety out there right now but it's never, well, what are you feeling anxious about? What are you worried about? What's going on in your life that makes you feel anxious? Are you eating right? Are you sleeping right? All of these things add up. And unless you approach it with that mental, physical, and emotional, considering all of these options, anything that comes, any changes that come about will only be short term. When I sit down with someone that is looking at losing some weight, then, we talk about nutrition. And it is a big part of it, but you have to look at the physical component. You have to look at why are you holding on to the weight? What are you trying to control with your weight? And a lot of these things are very subconscious, but it's still there. Even if you're not conscious of it, it doesn't mean that it's not affecting you. It's not controlling you. For example, if you have problems with your bowels, bowel movement, diarrhea, or constipation, you probably are controlling things in your life. And that is, I see it a lot. There's a lot of need to control right now because we can't control the external world. So we control what's going on inside. And it's likely that you're not even aware of it. But I would suggest to you, if you have problems with your bowel movements, to take a look at what you're trying to control in your life. And eating disorders are another piece. And I'm not trying to minimize this, but eating disorders are often, just like addictions, they're a bandage for what's taking place inside and being unable to deal or even to recognize what's going on inside, and it making it, that you don't feel comfortable, there's something going on, but unless you've got someone there to help guide you, to help move you through it and understand what brought you to this point, you will deal with things from a bandage perspective, whether it's an addiction, an eating disorder, something, because you can't control, you're unable to control or not aware enough to control that inside. And so we deal with it. The only way we know how is to try and cover it up or suppress it down, or, whatever that feels like. So come to understand that wellness has to be a holistic approach. You have to consider your thoughts, your mindset, the way you look at life. We have to look at our emotions, understanding them, figuring out what our triggers are. And we have to then look at the physical aspect of everything: nutrition, supplements, water, what we're putting in our body. Sorry, my dog's sitting there waiting to go to the room. So it has to be that three-pronged approach, and it's essential. If you want to attain wealth in the long run, then it has to be that three-pronged approach. So, what does wellness look like to you? Is it losing weight? Is it getting into, accepting yourself more? Is it understanding yourself more? Is it releasing traumas? Is it moving past traumas? Is it, coming to understand what you're anxious about, and where does that anxiety come from? What is it based upon? So often when someone comes to me, especially as a homeopath, and they'll say, well, about 3 or 4 years ago, this started, whatever the symptoms were. And every single time, if I say, well, what was going on in your life 3 or 4 years ago, or maybe 5 years ago, then there's always something. And it may not seem like it would be significant enough to bring about these symptoms, but there always is. Mental, emotional manifests as physical. It always happens, always. No matter what is going on, there's always something mental, emotional that must be approached at the same time. So consider that holistic approach to what's going on with your life. So nutrition is one of the things that most people find quite easy to talk about, because we all know nutrition affects us. Now, it's on a much greater scale than the physical aspect. I think it's, depending upon what you read, 70 to 80% is nutrition and the rest is physical exercise. Of course, that's leaving out all the mental, emotional component, but we'll go past that. So it is, look at, what are you eating? Do you understand how food works for you? And not every diet is right for everyone. I'm a huge proponent of the keto diet. I think, there's so many people, and I'm still hearing people all the time talking about how bad fat is for you. And it's just not. That is an old way of thinking. The keto diet is good for someone that wants to gain weight, someone that wants to lose weight, or someone that wants to maintain their weight. It just depends what you're searching for, but it applies to all three. If you want to lose weight, you are going to reduce your calories, but you're going to start to switch out those carbs, and that will affect your blood sugar levels. And, I have people all the time, well, I can't give up my pasta, or I can't give up my bread. You will be shocked when you start to follow a keto diet, how easy it can be to give up your carbs, because so often those carbs are a function of your body craving them because they're actually bad for you, which is a whole other story. But you can give them up. You won't crave them, because carbs spike your blood sugar levels. And when your blood sugar levels are spiked, they go up and then drop down. Then you're starved and you think you need carbs in order to lose weight, or carbs in order to maintain yourself. Or, there's another thing with nutrition. So I don't eat meat, and it just works better for me. I feel better when I don't eat meat. I don't recommend it for everyone. It is a process. You have to be aware of getting in the right proteins, getting in enough fats, especially on a keto diet, but it certainly is possible. I have friends and clients that are vegan, and follow a keto diet. So anything is possible. And there are lots of products that can help you, or even give you the ketones that you need. It's called Prove It. It's an exogenous ketone, so a ketones that you drink, and it works really well to help you through the keto process, either starting or continuing or just doing it by itself. One of the biggest things with Prove It and the Prove It ketones is, there's so many benefits of it, and reducing brain fog is a huge one, especially as we grow up, and that brain fog that we all experience at one point in time or another. But brain fog, better sleep, better moods, weight loss if that's what you're looking for, reduced inflammation, better cholesterol levels. So all of these things on a keto diet, and makes it so much easier with the Prove It. It's a supplement, a powder that you put in water and drink every day. So think about the keto diet. Fats are not bad for you. Some fats, yes. Trans fats, too much saturated fats, can be bad for you, but fats are good for us. It feeds our brain. And that's why the keto diet is so good for brain fog, because when our brains have fat present, ketones present, they can operate at a higher level. Same with our muscles actually too, although our muscles will naturally search for glucose because it's a quicker fix. It's a quicker energy source, but it comes and goes within 90 minutes, whereas ketones and fat last for up to 3 hours within the body. So it's a slower release, longer staying power, better for us all around. Athletes, high performance athletes, someone that just wants to lose weight, think about the keto diet. If you want more information, reach out. I can share links, whatever. Another myth about wellness is if you're skinny, you're healthy. But if you're heavy set, that you're unhealthy. And it's neither of them are necessarily true. You can be too skinny, and that is very unhealthy. You can be too heavy, and that's very unhealthy. But there is a broad range within there, and it depends upon your body size, your body type, your normal metabolism. There's so many functions here, but it's never that skinny is healthy or heavy is unhealthy. So reset your mind about that and start to look at what's really going on here. And, I think there's so much, there's a lot of dysmorphia out there, the way we see our bodies, but also this lack of understanding of, it's gone on for years, obviously, but we won't get into that. The next thing is a calorie is a calorie. And this is just not true. It's not calories in, calories out, it just doesn't, it's so much more to it than that. Another thing is that eating makes you fat. Well, eating too much is almost as bad or worse than eating poor food. I've been on, cooked for different retreats, right? Spiritual retreats where the food is such a big component of it. And, people have come to me and said, well, I need to have my meat. And I always tell them, well, let's try it without meat. And if you need meat, we can start to add meat back in. But, they always come back and say that they don't need meat in order to feel full. But also what they come to realize is, so they start eating these meals and they start coming back for second and thirds. And I remember the very first retreat that I provided the food for, and coming back and having to say to people, right, that, I love it that you're eating this food, but eating too much is just as bad for you as eating the wrong food. And on the other hand, not eating enough is also bad for you too. And I hear people all the time saying, oh, I've been cutting out my meals, or I'm too busy, or whatever. When you don't eat enough food, your body goes into starvation mode and stores everything. So it's actually going to cause you to gain weight if you're not eating enough. And it is a fine balance, but it is very important for you to eat meals. Intermittent fasting is amazing, but during that 8 hours that you do eat, then, make sure that you're eating enough calories. There's a function of how much you exercise, what your weight is now, how much weight you want to lose. so many different things go into that algorithm or that calculation as to how many calories you should be eating. But please don't cut back too far, because you'll gain weight, and because your body starts storing it. 8 glasses of water is enough. So this is a huge thing, and it goes back and forth that we don't need to drink that much water. We need to drink more water. I would suggest to you that, especially if you want to lose weight or you want to become healthier, to drink more water, and at least 8 glasses of water a day. Now, if you're working out all the time, you need to drink more. If you live in a climate that is very humid or hot, you need to drink more. If you're out exercising a lot, drink more. If you're drinking coffee and tea with the caffeine in it, then you need to drink more, because caffeine is a natural diuretic and it will push fluids out of your body. So, and the water does so many things. It flushes out toxins. So especially if you're trying to get healthier, you want to flush those toxins out. You start to, to start feeling better. You're exercising more. You're pulling the toxins out of your cells by eating better. And then we need to flush it out. And so drink more water for that reason. Flush those toxins out. Help the brain better. Help the body function at a higher level. Help your joints. Everything works better when you're drinking enough water. And I would encourage you to bless your water. There is a Japanese scholar, researcher, and do I have the book here? Oh, I don't have the book here, but it's a book all about, he looked at ice crystals and water crystals and ice crystals. And what he found was that when you blessed water, it changed the crystalline structure within the water, and it became these beautiful structures, as opposed to, so if you said love over water as opposed to hate, then it actually changed the structure of the water. And she's taken photographs of it, and it's, tons of studies have been done. So bless your water. When you go to drink your water, just say love, love, love. And it will change the structure of the water and make it crystal clear. Just like when you're eating your food, there's a reason why people would bless their food. It actually will help you to focus more on positive, but it also, you can say, like, allow me to get the nutrients out of this that I need. And anytime you're taking medicine, if you can take it with joy instead of thinking it's going to make you feel crappy or why you have to take it, anything negative, anytime you can put a positive spin on anything, it will increase the benefits for you and make you happier, healthier sooner. And it is that simple. And I think that's the biggest thing. So often, especially with Western medicine, right, they would mock it, but there is evidence, there is science behind all of this proving that a higher vibration, a happier person is healthier, happier, faster. Just that, getting Reiki before an operation and just afterwards will increase your recovery, or increase the recovery from surgery, etc. So there is tons and tons of science behind everything. So don't discount it. Pick one thing from today and start trying it. You're dehydrated when you're thirsty. Not necessarily so. A lot of times we think that we're thirsty, but we think that we're hungry, but we're actually thirsty. And being dehydrated, it may not be that you're thirsty, but it may be that the fluids aren't getting into your cells. So what's going on there? You may need extra electrolytes. You may need to add actual salt to your diet. Not white table salt, of course, but some Himalayan sea salt, some gray sea salt. Just sea salt will help you allow the fluids that are in your body to actually be taken into the cells, to help cross that membrane, that cell membrane barrier. Because that's what can happen. We can be drinking all that water, but if it's just passing through us, then we will be dehydrated and we will be thirsty, but we may be taking in enough fluid. Another one that I'm sure most of you are aware of is that diet pop is better for you. No, 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 no. I still had someone the other day talking about this, and Their son was on a trying to lose weight, and he's done really, really well and lost weight, but he's drinking diet pop all the time. So that aspartame, as you know, if you're not aware, the aspartame will actually cause you to gain weight in the long run. Your body doesn't know that it's a chemical sweetener. Your body doesn't know that it's actually adding or not adding calories or not adding sugar to it, glucose to your body. It just recognizes that there's glucose there. And when there's that much glucose added to your body, artificial glucose added to your body, artificial sweetener added to your body goes, oh, I've taken in all the sugar, then I need to take in everything else, the proteins, the fats, everything else to balance that out. And it'll cause you to actually want to eat more weight, to eat more. And, there's also all the things of aspartame, and it's bad for your brain. It's bad for your body. It gets stored as fat because your body doesn't know your body doesn't know what to do with it, so it just stores it. So please don't drink diet pop. Even if you're diabetic, I'd rather that you have a small amount of regular pop than drinking diet pop. And if you say, well, I like the flavor, well, I don't care. There's so many other things that you can drink that you can like the flavor of it besides diet pop. And in fact, if you love the flavor of the diet pop, it's an indicator that you are addicted to it and that your body is actually bad for your body. Anytime you crave something and are addicted to something, then it's actually your body gets stimulated by it, but not in a good way. But your body doesn't really know the difference. It just goes, and it gets stimulated, and your body says, well, I want more of that. Not that it's good for it, but just that it stimulates it. And we don't want that in all cases. Sometimes we do, but not always. So please stay away from diet pop. Another one, you need a diet or a protein supplement. This one drives me crazy too. Because, here's so many people, I got to take in that protein. I got to take in that protein. You need a very small amount of protein. If you're a 155-pound person, you only need about 55 grams of protein. And that would be like a couple eggs in the morning, a small chicken breast, and then with everything else that you eat during the day and the added protein that's going to be in there, that would be enough for you. If you started a new exercise protein or exercise regimen that is high on weights, then you might need to increase your protein by 30% for the first 2 to 3 months, but then that will be enough. You can back it down a bit after that. So, these people that are 250, 300 grams of protein, your body can't utilize that much protein, and it can only take in 0.8 kilograms per of protein per kilogram of weight. And so can't utilize it. It has to get rid of it. It has to detoxify the body with it. So you don't need that much protein. The majority of people that I work with, you don't need extra protein. You don't need a protein supplement. There are so many other things, other ways that I'd like you to eat, like, eat more eggs. And there's a big thing. Eating the yolk is very important. There's so many good nutrients in the yolk. And if you're looking to lose weight or you want to lose fat, I understand it. But within that yolk, there is an ingredient, a substance that actually helps your body to break down fat. And so you take in that good fat that your body needs, that your bone needs, that your skin needs. And your body can utilize that and eliminate the fat, but still give you all those benefits. So eat the egg yolk. Now, if you're doing, if you're trying to take in all this extra protein and you're doing, high level omelets, with tons of eggs every day, please don't do that for a long time. And there's so many other better ways to eat, but, have at least a couple of the egg yolks, right? And without eliminating all of them. And there's another thing, dietary cholesterol has a very small impact upon blood cholesterol. So what that means is the cholesterol that you eat has a very small impact on your cholesterol levels in your body. It's more about how your body handles cholesterol, that it creates itself. And so this whole thing that, you've got to cut out all these fats, you've got to cut out all these, all the proteins and everything like that, that we think to and I'm not sure why they think protein, but why they cut out all the fats to reduce their cholesterol. It has such a small impact. It's more about the physical acts or physical exercise. It's about how much alcohol you drink. It's how much water. There's so many other components of this. And please, 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 if your doctor tells you at the age of 50 that you need to go on statin drugs and start taking mini aspirin, please, please, please do the research on it. It's not true. Statin drugs do not do what they tell us. There's all kinds of evidence that shows that the statistics, the data that they came out proving how well statin drugs work for us, it's just not true. There was a lot of playing around with the evidence, and if you want that, let me know, and I can send a whole bunch of studies showing that that statin drugs do not do what they say. In fact, they start to damage our body. If you are on the statin drugs, please take coenzyme Q10. It's a substance in your body that starts to decrease with age, but is almost eliminated with statin drugs, and you need to take it for a variety of reasons, including your heart. So with cholesterol, like trans fats are one of the worst things that you can do, and they are added to a lot of processed foods, or a result of the processing. A lot of, there's a tiny amount in butter, but it's a very tiny amount. Saturated fats, just be careful, but one again, add those egg yolks. And here's our last one for today. Organic means healthy. It can. And I suggest to you to eat organic as much as possible. Here in Southwestern Ontario, we have, there's more organic in the stores now, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. I'd rather you eat healthy foods than, force yourself, than try and eat all organic, which are typically more expensive. And there is a reason for that, but, you can go in Southwestern Ontario and London, there's a small store in Delaware called BJ's Country Market, and he's got some amazing natural foods in there that aren't certified organic, but they're from local farmers that go through the whole process. It's things like that you can do, that you don't have to eat organic, and organic isn't necessarily better for you, because they may say I've used organic products, but they're adding in extra stuff, and it's not always better for you. But there is, if you want to go to the Environmental Working Group, ewg.org, there's a huge list. They always have a list there of the best products to eat that are called organic, because sometimes we don't need to go organic. For example, hey Lynn, I love organic local, but I often will choose local or organic brought in. Perfect. Because it is so true. A lot of times, if organics have been shipped a long distance, then we've got that whole consideration. And local, you can have, there are some amazing local producers that I would recommend to everyone. So, BJ's, there's a great place in Ilderton. There's a number of places in London too, that have high quality local foods. So definitely, if doesn't have to be organic in order to be healthy. So hopefully you got something out of today, that take away one step. Our journey to better health, our journey to feeling better is just one step at a time. If you want to dive in, that's wonderful, go for it. But, most of us are, it's a challenge to start to make those changes, but just know that you deserve to be healthy. We are all worthy of feeling better, whatever that looks like to you, and that it is possible. But understand more about natural therapies and natural health and a natural way of doing things, and take a look deeper at the myths that are out there. Keto is such a huge one, and it still astounds me when people say, I got to cut out my fat. So hopefully this gave you some tips and techniques for today. So if you didn't watch the whole thing, please watch the whole thing. But join me again on Thursday for Real Talk Soul Alchemist. And also I have a free webinar tomorrow with Kimberly Devputra, and we're going to talk about how to find more in your life. So that's tomorrow at 3:00 on my Joanna Rochester Facebook page. So have a great day, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 10:30 for Real Talk Wellness Renegade, part of Speak Up and Empower's online community. We have conversations that change the way you see the world. Have a great day.